Hey everyone. Hello. You know what time it is. It's 5 p.m. here in the Pacific time zone. Um, Time for a few snacks and a cocktail. For those of you 8 p.m., well, you know, you can just adjust the rest of your planning. So here we are. This is Cooking with Liz 2021. I have a separate new kind of theme this year, and we're doing a summer of snacks, people. Summer of snacks, and because that's sort of what I am capable of this summer. Because believe it or not, as most people are getting better in 2021, I managed to get worse. That's the broken leg slash knee slash, whatever, just general isolation here at home. So I've been making a lot of snacks, and I've been making them with the help of my sous chef, Hooper Dolan, who is right over there. Um, my first episode last week, I really enjoyed doing. I think it was a little more complicated than it needed to be. So I'm trying to strip it down a little bit today. So last week I made deviled eggs and michelada. Now, the michelada was super tasty, a lot of steps. So the drink that I'm making today almost could not have fewer steps. And the deviled eggs were delicious, but again, steps. And steps are not really my thing now, because I'm trying to do the whole thing without this today. So that's the joke, no steps, right? Okay, so deviled eggs and michelada last week. This week I'm doing pea pesto, which was a recipe by Gianni Pea Pesto Crostini, and Julie, my sister Julie, suggested Texas ranch water, which I had never heard of. I had never heard of ranch water. And she said, well, you just make it with like Topo Chico and tequila. Topo Chico, I had never heard of, but I'd seen it around, had no idea what it is. It's just mineral water, but apparently it's Texas mineral water, Texas style carbonated mineral water. So I'm going to be making that. Um, and it should be pretty simple and tasty. So a couple of things I wanted to mention from last week, in case there was anyone here. I suspect there are people that might have missed last week's episode. No biggie. It's always in the Facebook group. I also post it in the Satellite Sisters Instagram feed, so you can look for it there. And hashtag Cooking with Liz. Just put that hashtag wherever you want and see if it pops up. But a couple of the baseline things that I established last week. What the most important thing for me, two things for me in 2021, because of the doubling up on the unpleasantness that I managed to do to myself. Um, Cooking with Liz 2021 is all about no fiascos, okay? Last year in Cooking with Liz, I had the dill sauce fiasco, and then, at the turn of the new year, I had an actual personal physical fiasco. So I'm done with the fiascos. There are no fiascos, cooking or otherwise. And on a related note, no falling down. So I've reoriented my stage here today. So you can see right here, got the chair right here. The crutch is over there. I'm not going to use that today. But there will be no falling down as long as we have no fiascos. So, oh, Julie's here. Good. So that's the best mineral water. I've never tasted it. I still haven't. I wanted to taste it for the first time tonight. So here we go. So what are we really doing? First, I want to show you this pea pesto. Just look at how beautiful that looks. Like if I could just some toast, the pea pesto, and a little half a cherry tomato. That is so within my skill set. Though I did do a test batch of the toast, and it wasn't entirely successful. So that's the pea pesto crostini. And then, my goodness, look, whoa. Hang on. I was going to show you, this is, ranch water. Okay. That just looks super refreshing, right? It does look like water, which I think is the joke, right, Joel? Looks like water. So here's what we're going to do today. Fiasco Free Zone. Thank you, Nancy. That's a potential t-shirt right there, Fiasco Free Zone. Okay, so as you can see, I've reoriented myself. I hope the lighting is okay. It's a little bit tricky. I'm going to make, I tested some of the peas in my blender, decided just to go with regular blender this time around. But I'm going to do more of the peas. And what else happens in pea pesto, you may be asking? That's what I'm going to do right now. So you put in a package of frozen peas. Now my package of frozen peas is 16 ounces. And the recipe calls for a 10-ounce package of frozen peas. So remember what I did last week? I forgot to do the math. So everything was the wrong proportion, so it was a little creamier than it should have been. No fiascos this week. That's not happening. I'm going to be upping everything. So it says 1 garlic clove. I'm going to do 1 big one and 1 little one, right? Because that's about the difference between 10 ounce and 16 ounce. Half a cup grated Parmesan, 3/4 of a cup, a teaspoon kosher salt, up that, and 1/3 cup olive oil in my test batch. So I did try this the other day. Look at this gorgeous color. And I made this 2 days ago, my test batch. And it still looks great. So for those of you who believe in like storage and freezers and having stuff in the fridge in case people come over, I don't do any of those things. But if you do, look at how well this kept for me. So, okay, so that's what I'm going to do first. We're going to start with the pea pesto, and then I'll make the ranch water. So here we go. For the pea pesto, you pulse together the peas, the garlic, the Parmesan, and the salt and pepper. So peas, okay, I'm going to put the rest of the package of peas in here. My petit pois here. Okay, that goes in there. That's your 16 ounces, people. Remember, math. Okay, then a garlic clove. So even in my test batch, Kim, I don't know how you feel when you make it. I feel like it needed a little more garlic, actually. Just could have used a little bit more. Maybe I didn't do the math on Tuesday. So here we go. I'm just going to... Now, I wanted to show you this. Not that chopping garlic is interesting, but I want to show you this because I learned how to do this last year on Cooking with Liz. Remember? I didn't own one of these, like a real chef's knife. And I didn't know that to do this, you just go crunch. And there you go. Oh, that didn't work. Yeah. Okay. So you can see you got 1 big clove here. And the recipe doesn't even say you have to cut it up or anything because it's going in the blender. But just to make sure it gets well distributed, I'm going to chop that up. Look at me on my blade. Boom. That's going in the blender. But then I'm going to make a little extra garlic. Like I just told Kim, I felt like it could have used more. I'm a garlic lover, I'll admit that. And I live alone, so I get to decide how much garlic goes in my food. Okay, so another big hunk of garlic. There you go. So that's going in there. Okay, so that's the garlic. Then a half a cup grated Parmesan. Okay, I had this all sort. Oh, here we go. Wait, look what I found. In my test batch, I could have sworn I owned a grater, but then I couldn't find it. And then after I did the test batch, I did find it. Remember, I bought this last year. Last summer, I was going crazy with the Getting Crate and Barrel on the blower, as you recall. So it's all still here, all of this stuff. So here we go. So got this nice Parmesan. Got the cute grater. And it says half a cup. I'm going to do a little bit more than that. Now, one thing, this is not the best TV angle because you can't really see the grating. Okay, there. Okay, so I'm going to do this. All right, so see, that's all working. The whole acquisition of tools last year has made Cooking with Liz less fiasco prone, wouldn't you say? I'm not going to cut anything off, I don't think. I'm not messing around too much. Okay, hang on. I'm going to start measuring half a cup, right? Now remember this? I didn't buy this. our Satellite Sisters accountant and procurement director, Diane Gray, gave me this for free. She had a spare one. Remember last summer, we used to do the like pandemic exchanges on her front porch. She would leave me something. I would bring her back like her frittata pan things. So anyway, so I still have this. Diane said I could keep this. So this is good. So even though I know there's the whole liquid measure, dry measure thing, I'm never going to really master that. So here we go. I'm going to just get some more of this going. Because if you make pesto that like the normal kind with basil, having fresh basil is great, but you know that having plenty of cheese, okay. Let's see. That looks about right. I mean, even though I know it's the wrong kind of measuring implement, but that looks like plenty of cheese. So this is now going, boom, that goes in there. What else goes in? So a garlic clove, Parmesan, a teaspoon kosher salt. I was always faking it before with the kosher salt. I was like, oh my God, I have so many kinds of salt. Do I really have to buy another kind of salt? But I did. So here we go. It says a teaspoon, but as we've established, I need a little bit more of a teaspoon because of math. So this is a teaspoon and a half measure. Again, where do we get these? You know. So, okay, so that's going right in there. Teaspoon and a half of that. And then a quarter teaspoon freshly ground pepper. Well, I'm just going to totally eyeball this. You don't need to measure a quarter of a teaspoon, right? So I got some nice coarse. Okay, that's just going in there. Ooh. Okay, that looks like plenty. Oh, look who's here. Look who's on the floor. Sous Chef Hooper. Hey, Hoop. Okay. Ooh, you can also see my shoes that I refer to as not Crocs. I can explain those later. Okay, so now that's everything, right? And here's where I explain the mistake I made in the test batch that I'm not going to make again. So frozen peas, garlic clove, grated Parmesan, salt, pepper. Then it's the a third cup olive oil. In the test batch, I just threw it in and then did it all at once. Because guess what? I had not read the recipe, that is one of my sticky notes from last year, is read the complete recipe all the way through. So what you do is you pulse it and then you pour this in. You all know this already. Not only did I not know this, but as recently as Tuesday, I did not know this. So anyway, so now I do that. I see blah, blah, blah. So, okay, so that's what I'm doing now. So now we're going to let the pulsing begin. Pulsing in the olive oil. Okay, I'm going to pull this out just a little bit. Okay, this is exciting, huh? Now this goes on top. And see, here's the smart thing I did. See how there's nothing here? That's why. And I haven't used this blender in like 10 years. So it does get confusing when you can pulse, liquefy, puree, stir, chop, mix. Aren't those all the same thing? We know those are all essentially the same thing. But luckily this recipe says pulse, and there's a button here that says pulse, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to pulse. Oh, put it on. Okay, hang on. I'm going to turn that off. Hang on, wait a minute. Okay, that feels more promising, like it's actually connected now. This is not the part that was supposed to go wrong. Okay, I'm turning it on, and now I'm pulsing. Okay, newsflash, the pulse button doesn't work, so I'm going to push the button that says liquefy. That doesn't seem to be doing the job. Okay, now I'm going to start to pour this in. Okay, this isn't really working that well. I don't know if you can tell. I think I really do need to pulse it. Slow but steady. Okay, now I'm going to do this just because they always seem to do this when I see them do it on TV. They take their equivalent of a Betty and they go in and they mix it around. Oh, look. Look at that. Look at that. So it's not liquefied, which was not our goal anyway, but I feel like that does need some more action in there. It is disappointing to me that the button that actually says pulse does not appear to be responding. Is there something? Okay, if there's anything, shake it a little, maybe stir it. Okay, maybe stir the oil in. Okay. I like all of your suggestions, and I like the fact that I've done all of them. Okay, so okay, this is really looking good in here. Look at that. Okay, I actually think that's enough. Partly because it gets super boring if I just keep doing this. Okay, so that's that. So the pea pesto is ready to go. Now, I did do some of the toasting before you got here just because I thought it would be easier and more fun. So here's what I did. It said get like a day-old baguette. So I bought a baguette, let it sit for a day, and then I sliced it and toasted it this morning. So, hang on. Ooh la la, as they say about baguettes, right? So these look pretty good. I worried that maybe they were a little bit too wide for a crostini, and some of them got a little bit too brown. But in general, this was within the realm of servability, I thought, especially because I'm only serving to myself. So there was that. But then this morning, I thought I would try again another little mini batch with a different kind of bread, more of a brown bread than the baguette. So here's what I did with that. So these these I could get skinnier the way I slice them, which I think is they're supposed to be, but it's sort of a thicker, like bulkier bread. So I don't know how that would taste. I'm going to try it both ways, but I wanted to confess to you that there were some casualties, and yeah. So, but this is not a fiasco. This is just burnt toast. And as we know at Satellite Sisters, all toast is good toast. I'm just going to choose not to serve those to myself. Oh, that lighting is better. Anyway, so I'm going to try one of these on the more brown bread, and then one on the baguette. And get on the blower for a mortar and pestle. That is an excellent idea, Heidi. Like Samin. Oh, I love Samin. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to get a normal size spoon, a big teaspoon. Beckett likes the brown bread, the light brown. Thank you, Beckett. Okay, now hold on, I'm going to, so that these look pretty, just a regular little plate here. So here's what we do. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, this is exciting, right? So super easy to do. It just says just put 2, what does it say? Either teaspoons or tablespoons. Top with tomato halves, transfer the bread, blah, blah, blah. Top with tomato halves and stir. Oh, I didn't slice the tomatoes. Anyway, okay, so that's what that looks like before the tomato. That's the baguette crostini. But then I'm going to use the brown bread. See, it's a thinner crostini, but a hunkier bread. So that's what they look like before they're topped, but already so gorgeous, right? Thank you, Kim. You are so right. Now, hang on. I'm going to move all this over here. My farm box just arrived today, like literally 2 hours ago, and look what it had in it. Some fresh cherry tomatoes. So, okay. I know people get very nervous about my knife skills, but now that I have some decent knives, I think it makes all the difference in the world. Okay, so these look as good as Giada's. Come on, come on. Okay, so now I'm just going to put that aside because now we're going to make, thank you, Felicia, they look so yummy. And Nancy likes well done toast. I agree. Christmas snack. I hadn't thought of that. Okay, so that's going to go here. I'm just going to leave this here. Now, hang on. You know what happens when we're making drinks around here. We don't, we don't want to just wing it. In the drink department, I did own some supplies before I got into this line of work because somehow I ended up with Edna Dolan silver ice bucket. And I think you met this ice bucket last season. And it's very hard to reach with the legs. And Edna Dolan's silver cocktail tray with the bottle of Topo Chico. I keep wanting to say Topo Gigio. Topo Chico right on it. And this, as you can see, is only cold. I just took it out of the fridge. So I'm taking that out. I have the glass. And last week, several of you said that why didn't I have a jigger or something? And I thought, yeah, why don't I? But I don't. But what I do have is a little sake cup. So this is what we're gonna use. This is as good as a jigger, right? A little more international. So here we go. So let's see, where do I want to put this? So here we go with the drink making. I'm gonna open the ice bucket. Ta-da! It says fill with ice, obviously. Okay, Julie says yes to the ice bucket and the silver tray. Of course, you know how much time Mom spent telling us to polish those. Oh, you know what I didn't even introduce you to yet? My bottle of tequila. And I'm not really a tequila drinker. I mean, if it's in a drink like a margarita, but I'm not sure. I guess last year I made some stuff with tequila. We made some margaritas on Cooking with Liz, but it's been a while. I'm not a regular tequila buyer. So this year I decided, oh, hang on, the lighting is weird. This year I just decided I'm going to go with a celebrity tequila because it's more fun. Why shouldn't I be drinking George Clooney's tequila? So that's what I bought. And did you know that you probably know this already. He signs all the bottles along with Randy Gerber, his partner, AKA Mr. Cindy Crawford. So Casamigos. I think Julie, I texted you, right? Like, what tequila would you suggest? And before Julie could even ring in, Liam said, go with the Casamigos. It's the George Clooney brand. So that's what we're doing here today. Okay. Okay. All right. So we got that open. Hold on. I'm going to set myself up a little bit better so you can see more here. This is what I noticed watching last week's tape. Half the time you couldn't see at all what I was doing, right? Thank you for not complaining, but that was not very professional last week. The first episode of a new season, it's sort of a shakedown time. Okay, so let me go back to the recipe. I know it's basically like a gin and tonic, except it's tequila and Topo Chico. So here we go. Oh, I have to squeeze the lime juice. Okay, so use a highball glass, which I don't own, but any glass really, whatever glass you have to hand fill with ice. Add tequila and fresh lime juice. So the fresh lime juice is 1.5 ounces or about 1 shot. So, okay, remember, remember this? I used it last week, but I but I bought it last year from you know where. Okay, got the knife, add some. These limes came in my vegetable box today. So I'm gonna, you can't really see that, but trust me, I didn't cut my fingers off or anything. Okay, we put this here. Now, do you think do I need to measure this? Okay, I'm gonna squeeze this into my sake cup so I'm having some sense of how much juice is actually going in. Because I'm not such a huge tequila fan, I feel like I might need to overdo a little bit on the lime. Okay, so that's, looks like I need the other half of the lime. Oh yeah, that's a lot of lime juice. Okay, so one of your favorite tools. Okay, so I'm pouring the lime juice in now over the ice. You know what? I feel like I need more ice. Who agrees with me? Shouldn't this just be like filled up with ice? Julie? Okay. So, right. Add tequila and fresh lime. So tequila, it says 3 ounces Blanco tequila, such as Espolon or Casamigos, even says that in the recipe, about 2 shots. So here we go. Using the sake cup as my measure. Here's 1. You can't see me pour it into the glass, so that's not very fun. Okay, 1. The second one I'm just going to do like half because that smells like a lot of tequila to me. And also, I'm going to just squeeze a little more lime in there because I don't want to, you know, it is only 5 o'clock. And I know that's the whole joke of this drink, is you pretend you're sitting on the porch to drink water, but it's not water. Okay. Okay. Here we go. A little more lime juice right in there. And then it also says add a wedge to the edge. So there you go. I'm doing that. And then I feel like the whole thing. Stir it out with the chopstick. Okay, so now, sisters and misters, now we've got, okay, hold on. This lighting is driving me crazy. Okay, so this is the Texas ranch water. How does that look, Julie? Do you approve? Sorry. Oh, there, that lights back. Okay, Texas ranch water. And Pea Pesto Crostini. I think it's a pretty solid combination, but I'm about to find out. Okay, so first, I'm going with the skinny bread. You know what? The peas are so sweet. This is so great. I'm glad I added a little extra kick of extra garlic. Okay. So skinny bread totally worked. Beefier but skinnier. Oh, don't forget to add the Topo Chico. Thank you. Thank you, Jen. That was a near fiasco. Good thing I didn't get to the drink yet. Okay, now this is the French bread, the baguette. Everyone's correct. I did not add the water. It's a good thing I didn't take a sip yet. All right. The more conventional baguette has the more conventional kind of crostini flavor. But those are both delicious. You can put them on any kind of bread. So now, yes. Now I need to open this. I can't believe I almost forgot the water. That was, Okay, here we go, people. You take your Topo Chico. Why do I always forget something? I'm just moving too fast for my own good. Okay. How does that look, people? Okay. You got your Topo Chico. I think the chopstick has to go back in there. All right. Yeah, this I'll put a little bit more. Okay, now. Okay. Yes, Julie, I know the name of the drink is ranch water. I just got carried away with the other more complicated parts. You know what? That actually tastes better than I thought. I was not expecting to like the ranch water, but this is supposed to be an investigation of different things I haven't had before. So, what's special about this water? I feel like I need to try some straight water to know. Because lime is good and everything, right? I always figure no matter how bad something is, if you put a squeeze of lime in it, it's better. If you don't mind, just for the purposes of science, I'm going to taste the Topo Chico water to see is there something different about the flavor that makes that drink work for me, even though I'm not a tequila lover. Okay, I would not drink that as regular water, but it's super carbonated. I think that helps. And Julie, what did you say? That maybe it's a little saltier than regular water? I don't know. Anyway, okay. So, Texas ranch water, this is a hit. This is, and I think with a lot of water and a lot of lime juice, I'm just feeling the essence of George Clooney. It's like a taste of Clooney without the taste of tequila. I think that's what I was going for. Mm-mm-mm. All right, that's nice. Now, I'm going to take another bite of this. This is such a fresh, delicious taste. Kim, I cannot thank you enough. I mean, I know it's Giada De Laurentiis, but I think Kim is the one that gets the credit. Mm. Yeah, Jenny, don't you think they call this a porch drink? But for me, if it's a porch drink with George Clooney, that's even better than just a regular old porch drink. So the essence of Clooney with the pea pesto, you're not going to beat that. Okay, wow. I feel like I got through everything much more quickly this week, which is what I wanted. Not so much stumbling and bumbling around in my kitchen, you know, on the on Lefty. Ooh, 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 ooh. Christina wants to know, does it taste like peas? Yes. But, the sweet flavor of even though these were frozen peas, they just have a lot of fresh flavor. So arugula pesto is great too. Yeah, really, almost any pesto you could put on almost any toast with a little tomato or something on top of it, and it would taste great. Now the other crostini I was going to try, but then Kim's thing sounded more delicious, was it was a combo. I bought the ingredients. I think I'm going to make it this weekend. With the crostini, it was fresh fig and goat cheese and fresh thyme. So that sounds super delicious, doesn't it? So I'm gonna do that. It's gonna be a lot of crostini around here all weekend, which is good because I have a whole bottle of Clooney to wash it down with. So I got like a 12 pack of Topo Chico and the big bottle of Clooney. So yeah, so that's going to be the weekend around here with me. So there you go, everyone. That's it. This is night 2 of Summer of Snacks. I hope you're enjoying this. Please put any favorite snacks you want to share with the sisterhood and misterhood. Let's do that. Let's all have a summer of snacks. Cheryl says fig and goat cheese is a classic. I know, Cheryl, but I've never made it. I feel like I don't think I've ever even bought figs, but I love it when somebody else, like restaurant figs are delicious. So if I like figs out in the wild, I would probably like figs here too. So there you go. So Thank you so much for tuning in to the second night of the Summer of Snacks. I forget what I'm making next week. I forget what I'm making. It might be the cheese puffs. Anyway, on Tuesday's podcast, so listen to the show this coming Tuesday, and I will remind you what I'm making. Just having some fun around here. And so far, no falling down. One thing I did notice, which I wasn't going to note, but as long as we're just chatting, I was looking at my hair and thinking, last July I had like full-on pandemic hair. We all did, right? And so I didn't feel like I had to apologize for it. I don't know what my excuse is this July, except, lefty. It's just I haven't really fully gotten back into the swing of things, slowly easing myself out there, like ever so slowly, step by step. But a haircut might be in order at some point soon because, I think it's okay. I think I can go out and do that now. So, all right. So wait a minute. Fig news going by. There are 2 street fig trees on my block. Free figs. Cheryl made fig jam. I love fig jam. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to close here. Be sure to listen to the show on Tuesday. And be sure to share around the great Best Beach Bag book, both the list, which is on our website, and the episode, which has a lot of fun conversation about books in there. Share that with all your satellite sisters and misters who aren't quite into the podcast habit yet. And that's pretty much it. So you know how I ended, I forgot last week, but in 2020, I ended all of the episodes with a clap, right, Julie? Clap. And I would say peace and sauce. And in 2022, it is peace and sauce and snacks.